So today we're going to talk about a couple of things. One is certainly the SISE-net hub. We're going to do a demo there. We'll have some questions for you all to kick around. Then we'll go to the SISE-net app, which is how vetted people contribute information into the hub, right? So that is not public. None of this is public. It all requires a login and vetting through the SISE process. Then we'll talk about some of the other things that have developed with our working group, like operational coordination calls. And I mentioned our Signal chat groups. So let's jump into the first one, the SISE-net hub, which is really the signature place I think people go. And so let's jump into that and give you a little bit of background. What drove it? There was a problem that kept coming up, and that is we got to reduce email and have a single place for trusted disaster information. I think the reduction of email was universal. All of you on the call, if you've been through disasters, you know what I'm talking about. Your email inbox is crowded already, and it swells 10 times sometimes. So they wanted to reduce dependency on email, and they wanted a single place for disaster support information. They held a couple of exercises to determine what information. They used several approaches to a hub and ended up on an Esri ArcGIS platform, which is supported by our partners at Ben Ear Solutions. And this is an enterprise level platform. The users chose that because a lot of states and utilities and so forth, they already use Esri. It's recognized as one of the best ones out there. And again, we didn't want to reinvent the wheel. Let's use something that others are using already. It interfaces with WebEOCs, which a lot of states use, and other systems the private sector uses. It had to cover nationwide and Canada. Many people don't know, but a lot of material come across the border from Canada into the United States, especially in the electric sector. It's every sector, but especially when power crews need help in the Northeast. Sometimes it's faster to bring those crews across the border from Canada than it is to bring it up from Virginia and Florida. The content, operational updates only from states and industry. No emojis, no happy birthdays, no, hey, come to my event. No, hey, look at this article. None of that. It's monitored, it's policed. So it is quiet and then it's loud when there's a disaster, and then it's quiet again. For those of you that use it, you know what I'm talking about. We police that because the last thing we want people to do is to have one more thing going off to distract them that is not operational. So we keep that to operational updates, and especially on the Signal app, we police that as well. We wanted this to be constantly refreshing, real time. And we have direct data feeds into the SISE hub, and we get direct email feeds from the electric sector's ramp-up system, which is used to determine resource movements between the regional mutual assistance groups. So that integration has been put in place into the hub. But what does that mean? That means people will know when the resources in the electric sector are moving within minutes of that being relayed into the SISE. Why is that important? We've learned over time that when you see electric sector companies moving resources towards a state, that's a very expensive proposition for the utility calling in those resources, but they don't do that unless they know for sure there's going to be damage. And so we use that as an early indicator that when you see a fleet movement alert in the hub, it's serious, right? There's going to be some damage. This is what we can tell you after many years of doing this. And then lastly, they needed legal protection. They did not want media accessing this. They did not want liability issues with it. They wanted the legal protections of the SISE. So the consortium agreed to house the SISE, if you will, under the consortium. And the solution came out of that was the SISE-net operational information sharing hub.